Right, so welcome to week 5. Safety, remember we're working to about a level 4 out of 10, 4 or 5, so you can feel that you're working, but you can still speak in full sentences. Don't work through any pain, so if any exercise hurts, either slow it down or reduce the range of movement. If it still hurts, just wait for the next one. If you feel unwell, obviously stop. So the only equipment you actually need is water and a chair for a couple of the exercises, but if you have weights or a band or tins of soup and you've got those, you can use those as well. So we'll start with mobilisation and warm-up. So arms down by your sides, start with your feet together, and then bring the toes out. We're going to bring the heels out. We're making sure ankles, knees, hips are all in line. Just let somebody else in. Okay, and then try and stand up as tall as you can. So imagine you just have a piece of string all the way through the body, out to the top of the head. So you want to get that nice stretched sensation, nice long neck. We're then going to roll the shoulders round. And change direction. Turn my heater off so I don't interfere with the noise. And then arms back down by your sides, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, turn your head to the right. Breathe back into the middle and out to the left. So try and keep the shoulders low as you're doing this. We want to keep that nice long neck. Next time, just come back to the middle and drop your chin onto the chest. So we're stretching at the back of the neck. Back to the centre and look up to the ceiling. And back to the centre. So just bring the arms up to chest height, palm to palm, and then open out in a diagonal position, so star arms. So just getting the arms, shoulders warmed up. If you can push back a little bit, you might get a bit of a stretch across the chest, loosen the chest up. And then bring your right arm out to the side and turn the palm to the ceiling. Just tilt the head away from it a little bit, and then take that arm up to the ceiling, stretch up, and then bring it into the ear. And change. I'll do the next one from my knees just so that you can see what the arm's doing. So arm out to the side, palm to the ceiling, tilt the head away. Extend up to the ceiling, so you're stretching, and then just bringing that arm in. So you should feel a stretch down here. We'll do one more on each side. Turn the palm over, tilt the head away. Stretch up and bring it in. And one more. Okay. Then I'm going to bring the arms forwards. Again, palm to palm. And this time pull the elbow back. So side on it looks like that, and the head just follows the elbow back. Now, if you don't have any issues with the spine or the bones, you can keep the hips facing forwards. If you do, or you're unsure, let the hips come with the shoulders. And then we'll either change sides or keep going if you were doing alternate anyway. Again, keep the shoulders low, really try and get that elbow back. And hands back down. So you can either have them by your side or hands on hips, keep them out of the way. Just move that chair out of the way, and we will come into flamingo. So again, you might need to hold on to your chair. or the wall. I'm just going to brush that foot backwards and forwards. So we're getting the hip working in a forwards backwards movement. It's also a good balance exercise. And we'll change sides. And bringing that back down. Okay, so we're going to work the heels in this section today, not the heels, the calves with heel raises. In this section today, bring the heels together so you're back in that 45-degree position. And then you'll notice there's a little bit of a gap between my calves and my knees because I've got my trainers on, so my feet aren't together. But I'm going to try and keep that gap as small as possible as I lift the heels off the floor. And again, hold on if you're a bit wobbly. And back down. So we're trying to come up slowly, hold it at the top, and back down. And as you're minimising that gap, you should feel that you're really working through the whole of the legs, squeezing. And back down. We'll do a couple more. And last one. Okay, so bring the heels back out, so you're back in your neutral position. We're going to start doing the warming up, so now your heart rate should start to increase and you get a little bit warmer. So we'll just start marching, jogging, and all of these, don't forget you can work to your own level, so you can have the knees coming up higher, have the elbows going back more, or increasing the pace. I'm just going to keep it at a moderate pace. So we're going to come into swing and sway. So you're taking the feet wider and then just swinging the arms up to one side, turning the hips, bringing the heel off the floor, watching the hands. We're going to do this as one of our cardio exercises today. And then just coming back down and coming into our marching again. So the next one that we'll be doing, I'll show you first, but you keep marching, is the spotty dog. So tapping back with one foot, bringing one arm forwards. Okay, off we go, spotty dog. And back to marching. Might want to pick your marching up a little bit more, either in terms of the range of your movement or the speed. Only if you feel able to then. The next one I don't think we've done, so I'll show you first while you keep marching. We're going to do some heel kicks. So you start off with the feet wider, and then you're just kicking the heels up towards the bottom to try and stretch out the thigh. Show you from the back. Okay, so if we come into heel kicks now, just going to stretch out the quads. Again, just work to your own range of movement, so if you've got sore knees, just go a little bit less. And back to marching. Okay, so we definitely haven't done this one before. We're going to do heel dips. So again, hands on hips to start with, and you're just pushing one foot forward, pulling the toes up. So you might feel a little bit of tightness in the calf. And then what we can do to make it a bit more cardio is push the arms forwards and bring them back. So the arms just follow the foot. Again, don't worry about your coordination. As long as you've got a foot moving and some arms moving, that's fine. Brilliant. And back to marching. So we've got one more move in the warm-up, and that's the half jack. So this time the arms and the leg are coming out to the side, one arm, one leg. And again, you can just vary your range of movement, so you can just bring the arms to shoulder height, or you can go higher if that's comfortable. And back to marching. So we're going to do our 1, 2, 3. So while you're marching, if I say 1, up overhead. If I say 2, angel arms. And if I say 3, go into fast feet. So you're just going as quickly as you can, but only for a couple of seconds. Right, so back to marching. We'll just do a couple of numbers of each one. So we'll go 2, angel arms. And 1, 3, back to marching. 1, clap. 1, 2, 1, and 3. And rest it down there. Okay, so we're going to come into our circuits. If you need a drink or if you need to take the outside layer off, as I do that, and we will get into the circuit. Just realised I haven't got my clock. There it is. We're going to do 60 seconds. But that 60 seconds doesn't mean that you have to keep going for the full 60 seconds. So you can use as much of that time to recover as you need, depending on the exercise. So the first one we're doing our march. That's kind of starting where we finished off. And I'll give you 2 opportunities to do fast feet for 5 seconds if you want to. You don't have to take that. So off we go. 60 seconds starting now. Fast feet if you want to. Brilliant. And back to march. We're halfway through. Good effort. We've got 15 seconds to go. And fast feet if you want to. And resting there. Great work. So first upper body exercise is bicep curls. Elbows tucked into your waist, curling up to about that position. If you want to, you can keep your feet moving at the same time. 60 seconds starting now. You don't have to, you can just keep the feet still if you want to. You just want to concentrate on the arms. And I'll tell you each 15 seconds that we're through. 15 gone. And 30 gone. So you're halfway through. So just keeping, which you all are doing, nice steady movements, making each one count. That's good. 15 to go. And stopping there. So next one, we're working down the back of the body, glutes, hamstrings. We did it for the first time last week, so I will just show you again. It's 1 foot back, heel off the floor, but make sure your feet are hip width apart. And then you're hinging from the hip. All your weight is on the straight leg, or most of it. And as you just lean forward, hinge forward, you should feel that the glute, the buttock, and the back of the leg are doing some work. So then you can come back up. Okay, so it's hinging from the hip, keep the back nice and straight. You don't have to come a long way, just as far as you can feel it. And back up. So with your straight leg, although it is straight, you don't want to lock it out, so just have a little bend in it, just to protect the joint. And we're going to change legs. So step back on the other side. Again, make sure your feet are hip width apart. Have the heel off the floor on the back leg. And again, just hinging forwards and back. We've got 10 seconds to go. And stopping there. Okay, so next cardio exercise is the swing and sway. So you can either do it as we were doing it in the warm-up, or if you want to work harder, you can have more of a dip in the middle, so you're working the legs a bit more. And off we go. So I'm going to have a little bit of a dip, but I'm not going to go extreme. Make sure you keep breathing. And we're halfway through, 30 seconds to go. Last 15. Three, 2, 1, and stopping there. So for the next one, we have a choice, depending on what equipment you have. If you have weights, and I'll show you kneeling because then you can see, we'll do a shoulder press. It's quite hard doing that for 60 seconds, so I would say do sets of 8 and then rest 8 again. If you have a band, do pull downs, so same, well, similar, but you're working slightly differently, pulling out wide. So that one you're working the back, but there is some effort for the shoulders as well. If you don't have any equipment, I would say go through the movement for the press, okay? So 60 seconds, starting now. So I would say to work through maybe sets of 8. Have a breather for a couple of seconds. Start again if you're feeling okay. First 15 seconds is gone. Got 30 seconds to go. I should have said actually, if you're using the band, pull it down in front of your head because that means you can keep the head in alignment. If you go behind, you have to bring the neck forwards. If you come that way, you can keep the neck in alignment with the rest of the spine. That's good. 5 seconds to go. Good work. And stopping there. The next one, we're going to do the split squat pulse. But if you wanted to progress that to a lunge, you can. Depends how your knees are and how your balance is. So the split squat pulse, we've got 1 step forwards, back heel off the floor, heavy book on the head, just bringing you down. If you wanted to lunge, and you can do it holding onto your chair, okay, and off we go. So just whichever, both are beneficial, both will work the legs, but whichever will cause you less pain or anxiety about falling over. Obviously we don't want that. 15 seconds gone. So just make sure your feet stay hip width apart, so it's train tracks, not tight rope. And we're halfway through, so if you're working one leg, change over. Try and keep the body up as tall as you can. "15 seconds to go. And stopping there. Okay, so our next cardio exercise, we're going skiing. Arms up, ready to swoosh down the hill. Okay, 60 seconds. So a lot of the effort in this comes from the power in the arms. Some great power there, brilliant. And we're halfway through. "15 to go. 3, 2, 1, and resting there. So we have a couple of exercises on the wall now. First one is the press up. Just have your hands shoulder width or a little bit wider, standing roughly arm length from the wall. If you want to make it a bit harder, stand a bit further away. And you're bringing your head to the wall, but you're trying to keep a straight line from your heels all the way to the top of your head. Off you go. "15 gone. And 15 to go. And resting there. Now you'll need to go back to your wall, but if you just come so you can see me, because we haven't done this one before either, it's a core exercise. So it's effectively an ab crunch, but we're doing it on the wall. So same start position. You're bringing one knee up, trying to bring the chest down to it. So you're getting that contraction. I'll show you sort of from here, you have to imagine the wall. Okay, so you're just squeezing here and off we go. Okay, so one knee up, keep the chest up tall, but you're just contracting through your abdominal muscles. Imagine they're a concertina, and you try to get that squeezed feeling. Okay, make sure you keep breathing. "15 seconds to go." And resting there. Okay. So next cardio exercise is boxing. We had a rest from it last week, but I think a few of you quite like it. So we'll have if you're right-handed, have your right foot back, left foot forward, other way if you're left-handed. Hands up to your face. So not a tight grip, just a loose one. And you can either, I'll just hit some shots and you can either follow me or you can go freestyle. Okay, so I'm going to go jab, cross, and then hook, hook. Jab, cross, hook, hook. And you don't have to do it in a boxing style. You can just get the arms moving in these directions. As you hit with the arm from the rear side, just make sure that you're pivoting through to protect the knee. "15 seconds to go." I'm going to add a couple of uppercuts in at the end. Okay, 10 seconds. So I'm getting my knees down, I'm going to push up. And resting there, brilliant. Okay, so we're sitting down for the next one, because it helps to isolate the muscles better. And or weights, I'll show you with the band first. So if you sit on it, have the long end coming out at the back. Just sit on the front third of your chair and then take both arms holding onto the band. Elbows in and pull up. If you have weight, you can either do one or both hands, depending how heavy your weights are. I'll do two hands on one. Again, elbow in and up. If you're doing single arm, just protect the joint by holding on with the other arm. Okay, and off we go. Make sure you keep breathing. Good work. Okay, we're halfway through, so have a little breather if you need. Just loosen off. And then if you're okay, let's go again. "15 to go. Three, 2, 1, and back down. Okay, so stay in your chair. If you're on a band, just move it. So we're coming into sit to stand. Aim is to do these as slowly as you can, because we want to make sure the legs work for each movement. We want to get the control. So just bring your heels back a little bit so that when you come forward, your weight's on your heels. and push up into a standing position. So it's primarily that coming down, looking for really good control. When you come up, you can push the hips forwards a little bit, just loosen off the hip flexors. Halfway through. You're doing really well. Fifteen to go. And resting there. So we're back to standing with a spotty dog. So that's our step back, opposite arm forward. 60 seconds, 3, 2, 1, off we go. Just to make it easier, just don't bring the arm so high. To make it harder, increase your pace. That's great work. And we're halfway through. That's 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, and hold it there. So next one's the upright row. I'm coming a bit closer to the camera so you've got a good view. You don't need to see my head. So if that's a band, I'm standing on the band. At that point I can feel tension. I will show you the weighted one as well. And then I'm bringing the elbows up. So the important thing to note is my wrists, as I'm pulling up, they're staying in line with my hands. So don't do that because that can hurt your wrists. String on your elbow, pulling the elbows up to the ceiling. Same for the weights. So I'm just demoing at the moment. So arms down, elbows coming up. So if I stand back a bit, the second most important thing, keep the shoulders low. So don't pull up like that. Okay, off we go. And if you don't have any weights, just do it with the body weight because that will still work those muscles. If you need to have a rest during the 60 seconds, please do. So elbows out nice and wide, halfway through. Good. Last 15. Remember to keep those wrists straight. Three, 2, 1, and rest in there. Okay. So our last lower body exercise, we're going to do a sumo squat. So feet stand wider than hip width apart, toes out. Again, if you need to hold on or just support yourself, do. So we're coming straight down into a squat, and again you can vary the range of movement. So it could be that you just take the knees off straight, it could be that you come down further, okay? When we get part way through, I'm going to say take one heel up. So you're going to do a few like that, and then we're going to change to the other heel. okay? Obviously you can stop at any point. 3, 2, 1, off we go. So just work to your own range of movement. Keep it nice and slow. I'll show you side on as well. It's almost like you're sitting down, so those knees don't come any further forward than the mid part of my foot. Okay, so lift the right heel off the floor. Change that for the left heel. You're doing so well. And both heels back down. 5, 3, 2, 1, and stop there. Just give those legs a little bit of a shake. So we've got our last cardio. So it's back to marching. Options for 5 seconds of fast feet. Okay, off we go. Fast feet if you want. And back to marching. Get ready for last fast feet. And off we go if you want to. Fantastic. And resting there. Brilliant. So that's the end of the circuit. We'll come on to core. So just grab yourselves a drink if you want to. I will. So we'll start with our pelvic floor. So sitting on your chair. And make sure you're on the front third of it. Hip width apart, so if you're not sure, put toes out to 45 degrees, heels out. Again, you get that alignment. And then just bring the elbows forwards so we get the posture that we're looking for. Again, you want to keep your head in line with the rest of your spine. So if you're looking forward to a camera, that probably won't be in line. So just tip it down so you're looking to a spot about 6 feet in front of you. So we're going to do the slow twitch pelvic floor exercises first. Remember to relax the glutes, it's just the pelvic floor that we're pulling up. So pull up as if you're trying to stop wind, and then shift your focus forward so you're trying to stop the flow of urine. Hold it there. 5, 6, 7, and release. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm going to do quite a few of them. So pull up through the back passage, round to the front, pulling up. Hold it there. Keep breathing, so you're not holding your breath. And relax back down. Okay, and again. Pulling up. Just get that contraction, just check that your glutes are relaxed, you haven't shifted position on the chair. Hold it there. And relax. Do 3 more. Pulling up, get that contraction, check you're not tense anywhere else. Keep breathing. And relax. Okay, second to last one. Pulling up, holding it. And relax, and last one. And relax. Okay, so we're going to do some fast twitch ones, which means that you pull in and release, sort of on a 1 in, 1 out basis. We're going to try and do that 10 times, okay? So I'll let you do it at your own pace, but I'll be doing it as well, okay? So pulling in, and then just relax. So as soon as you've relaxed, you're pulling back in. I've got one more to do. And well done. Okay, so we'll do seated curl next while we're sitting. Side on. So again, I'm in that front third, arms over the chest, crossed over the chest, chin slightly tucked down. Keeping the back straight. Aiming to get my shoulders close to or touching the back of the chair, using the abs to pull back forwards. We're going to add an extra 2 in if you can. Good work. And then back to standing. So we're going to work the obliques, which are these muscles down the side that wrap around. You can either do that body weight, or with a band, or with weight. Got the weights here, so I'll show you that first. Feet hip width apart. Tummy pulled in. Try and keep the hips level. You're just reaching down to the side. Imagine your pelvis is a bucket of water. You want to make sure the water is not tipping out of the side. If you have weight, a band rather, stand on it with both feet and then hold on about halfway up the shins. Then when you stand up, you'll feel there is tension. And then again, same move. Do one more each side. And relax. And then our incline plank. So I'm going to put my chair against the wall so it's in a safe position. You can equally do it on the wall there, so you can have feet back as long as you have secure footing, don't want you slipping. And holding that position, squeezing the abdominals. All hands on the chair. Just squeezing the abdominals. By keeping that straight line in the body, you're engaging them. which then helps to protect the back as well. And back to standing. Okay. So we're going to do one more new one, which is modified swimming. You haven't got a great view. I might have to change the camera halfway through so you can see what's happening lower half and upper half. Basically against the wall, arms extended, and then take one arm out, opposite leg back. I'll just shift the camera to show you what's happening with the hands. You can also do this from a lying position, so I know a couple of you at least have done Pilates, so you can do this from a position where you're lying on the floor, but I'm not suggesting that anybody gets on the floor now. So your aim is to keep the torso really stable, and then as you're taking the leg out and the arm out, you're working through those joints, but using your core muscles and your back muscles to maintain the stability. Okay, does that make sense? That's good work, Bill. Nice. So just do one more on each side and then come back into shot. I'll just adjust my camera back down. Okay. So we're just going to do a couple of balance exercises. So I've got my chair there in case I need to hold on. And we're just going to do very slow knee raises. And again, you're trying to keep the hips level, you're trying to stand up as tall as you can. Now, if you're very comfortable that that's okay, you can take the arms overhead and bring down the opposite arm. So that's a little bit of a coordination challenge as well. So you've always got one arm up to the ceiling, the other one is coming down to meet the knee. Nice. And try one more on each side. Lovely. Okay. And then we'll come into pendulum. So we're working through the sides of the hips. We're going to do one side and then the other. Okay, so foot pulled up and just lifting it to the side, but standing up as tall as you can. So still lengthened through the spine. And changing sides. And back down. Just tread brakes, loosen off through the hips. And then we're going to come into tandem stance. So you want your right foot in front of the left. Now we are on the tightrope. So again, make sure you're somewhere where you can just hold on if you need to. Okay. And then if you're okay to, bring the arms out to the sides. If you're still okay, just turn to the right. Not a long way, just off center. back to the middle, and other way. Back to the middle, and then change the feet over. Make sure that you've got the heel of one foot tucked into the toes of the other, just to make it extra hard. And then when you're all right, just bring the arms out. Okay, if you're still okay, turn to the side. Back to the middle, and over to the other side. Back to the middle, and down. That looked really good, nicely steady. Okay, so we'll come into some stretching. We will do the calves first, so stepping back on the right, heel is off the floor to start with. As you then push the heel down, just let the front knee bend so that you can keep that back leg straight. And you're just leaning forward so that you have a straight line from your back heel to the top of your head. If you want to do it on a ball instead, you can. And change sides. So foot back, heel off the floor, and then as you push it down, you're bending the other knee. Okay, so we'll stretch through the quads, but we'll do it the same way we did at the start. So just bring the heel up towards the bottom. Nice and slowly, because we don't want to get that heart rate raised again. And back down. Arms down by your sides. Rotate the shoulders, or rotate the hands so that the shoulders are squeezing together. Still keeping the shoulders low. And release. So this isn't really a stretch, it's a strength exercise for the rear delts, but it fits in quite nicely at this point. Then bring that right arm forwards, bring it across the body. Take your other hand, just place it above the elbow to draw the arm in closer to the chest. As you pull it in, try and push back so you're resisting, and you should feel a nice stretch in this part of the shoulder. And change arms. So forwards, bring it across, pull it in, but push back at the same time. Take that arm overhead. I'm just going onto my knees for visibility. Bend at the elbow to place the hand on the nape of the neck, and then just use your other hand partly to support the elbow, but you can also increase the stretch just by pushing down on the forearm. Changing sides. And then arms down by your sides, bring them forwards. So just overlap your fingers. You want your arms at chest height. Push the elbows out wide, chin onto your chest. Breath in and breathe out. Push the back of the hands away from you, but try and keep the elbows wide so you're stretching through the shoulder area, shoulder blades. And then bring the hands down. Either place them on the small of the back, squeeze the elbows together, or interlink the fingers and squeeze the elbows together. You should feel a stretch across there. And then just place your hands on something that's that's hip height. So your chair or a windowsill table. Take the feet back a little bit. Push the hips backwards. And then try and bring your chest down to be parallel to the floor. You're keeping your back straight. And you just want to go far enough so that you can feel the stretch down the hamstrings, down the back of the legs. And then coming back to standing. Just bring your shoulders up to your ears. And then push them all the way down. Big breath in, float the arms up. Stretch, so full stretch up to the ceiling. And relax back down.